Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is MMA AM, half morning show, half MMA show, pretty much all bullshit. I'm LK from Kocosports.net, and I'm joined by what seems like to be for always, as of recently, SOS Wrestle Talk and Dion. Dion, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Okay, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, well, I'm living the dream. Literally, I just got off finishing watching the main event, and then I sent you the link. I really enjoyed the UFC Fight Night 104 Bermudez versus Korean Zombie. We only have about 30 minutes now. Within this 30 minutes, I say we have 30 minutes, but I know we won't go that. So if I miss a little bit of Raw, I don't mind if it's to talk about some UFC and some mixed martial arts. But the UFC Fight Night, out of all of it, because obviously you have the early prelims on Fight Pass, the prelims, and then the main card, what of it did you watch out of the lot?
I saw some of the the early prelim card on Fox FS1. I saw the Andrade versus Hill fight. I saw the main event, and I'm looking else on the card to see what else I saw. Yeah, those were actually the only three fights I saw, but I pretty much caught, clippets, and I've read up on the other fights, so I pretty much know what happened on the other fights as well.
Okay, that's cool. So what we'll do is we'll just break down the entire. I watched the entire card because I bought Fight Pass on Saturday, the day of the show, and because I live in England, it gives me access to the early prelims on Fight Pass, and as well as the actual prelims that air on Fox Sports. Because we don't have that on BT Sport, we get that on Fight Pass.
Okay.
So I did watch this, and I recommend Fight Pass. I really do. It's £5.99 a month for me. I know it's more expensive your end. I think it's $9.99 your end.
Yeah, I actually looked at it the other day too because I saw that you got it, and I was like, man, I'm definitely gonna think about getting it. I might as well with all the other wrestling stuff I have. So I mean, what's one more, something to have.
Dude, I'm going to be brutally honest. I wasn't going to say this, but I dropped FlowSlam for this. FlowSlam wasn't offering enough for me. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't offering enough. Like, okay, it was okay. You'd have a weekend of like Evolve, and then you get the next week, you get ACW and something. It's like, what? Like, come on. It's not worth it for the Evolve. Like, £17 a month for Evolve.
It's like,
come on.
Knocked it down, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what $17.99 translates over to, to US dollars.
$20. $20.
Oh wow, $20? We can get New Japan World for under $10 a month. That's a little much.
Exactly. You can get the WWE Network for $9.99, UFC Fight Pass for $5.99, New Japan World for £7. And I was thinking, if I cut that and I get the UFC Fight Pass as $5.99, now I have an extra £12 to spend if I wanted to buy a specific indie company show. Like if I wanted to buy Progress, I could get the Progress 1 month, and then the month after maybe get a Rev Pro, month after just kind of rotate. In between, that could be very interesting. Instead of spending all on flow time. And I was literally watching Evolve and nothing else. It was a waste of, but this is MMA show, so what am I doing talking about pro wrestling? So the early prelims had Khalil Roundtree versus Daniel Jolly in the light heavyweight division.
Oh, yeah, that one was, oh, geez, dude, that finish was insane.
Oh, yeah, the end of round one, Roundtree of a straight, basically 2 knees to the head, and the referee just jumps in and stops him. He won by knockout. And then he just went on to say, look, I'm just going to go home and train some more. Like, he got in, got out, light heavyweight division. Do you see? I don't think he'll be in the top 15. I don't think he'll be on the top 15, but maybe that win will give him a shot maybe at another fight in the UFC anyway.
I absolutely agree with you. As far as him being in the top 15, he'll probably need about 2 more victories under his belt before he can crack that top 15 level. But this was an impressive knockout for him here. And I was saying with my buddy when it happened, I was like, man, he didn't even look like he wants to talk or anything. Like he said how he's like, I just want to go train. I was like, I felt that he was going to say that before he even got on the mic. I was like, is he want to talk right now? It looks like he doesn't even want to talk.
I liked him. I really liked him. He's now 6 for 2. He's now 6 for 2. That's a decent enough record to maybe, one more fight, 7 for 2 could maybe make the top 15, but I see him as a good fighter. And obviously, I don't know disrespect to Daniel Jolly here, who's 3 for 1 himself, now 3 for 2. He ain't a bad fighter, but he just went in there and he got pounded from the get-go.
Yeah, man. He looked like a man on a mission from the start. So, I mean, hats off to him. I like to see more of him. So, this was actually the first fight of his that I saw. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what else he can do. So,
yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Then we had Nico Price versus Alex Morono in the welterweight division. Price is undefeated now. Obviously, I know they talk about wrestling. They take a lot of the wrestling aspect of the characters and the promos, and they bring it over to mixed martial arts, which was very smart.
Mm-hmm.
But here, Price came across as a cocky, arrogant prick. That's what he came across to me, and that's good.
Yeah,
because he can now market himself as that. Like these guys, like some of them, like him coming out and saying, I don't need to talk, I'm going to go train. That's all well and good. But if every fighter says that, that's going to be an issue, because you want to be emotionally connected to these fighters. That's what I really loved the Grasso versus, there was in the main co-main event here, Grasso and Herrick. I was really into that because I did some homework and research on the backstory. And it was a fascinating backstory. You know, the veteran who isn't in the top 15, but he got the top 12, saying, look, if you want to be in this top 15, go through me. And I like that story. And this, it was an okay fight. So round 2, Price wins by knockout. The last 10 seconds, Price just fucking kicks the shit out of him until the buzzer goes off. And nasty right, literally a nasty right hand got the win for him. And Price then post-match just says, call me and I'll knock them out. Like, get me. Like, dude, and I need to sort out my handwriting. I think I might go back to English grade 2 maybe, because my handwriting there is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievable. But Ness, he's now 10-0 in the welterweight division, so maybe you could potentially see something down the line.
It's crazy too, real quick, because you see how he's 10-0 now, and it's crazy how they look at people's records, because the UFC consider, okay, he's 10-0, but look at his competition, or he's 10-0, we need to move him up in the rankings. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah, because we don't really know who he's been fighting, do we? You can't really tell until we've seen who exactly he's fighting. But 10-0 is still a good record to go on. And then we went on to some women's strawweight action. We had Taysha Torres ranked 6th versus Beck Rawlings. Went full 3 rounds. I rated it 30-27, and that was the judges' score was 30-27 by anonymous decision to Torres. Post-match, Torres, thanks. She just says thanks her learn. I writ thanks her learn. Thanks her camp. Thanks her camp. My fucking writing here is absolutely abysmal.
Her learn.
I can't read.
That's our God. Thank you, her learn.
Did you? I writ learn, but that's actually a C instead of an E, and it's the L and E is actually a C. And oh, dude, this is horrendous. I'm sorry. I'm gonna really sort that out. So she thanks her camp. Dude, it was an okay fight. It went 3 rounds, which I wasn't expecting it to be. Very tough, cool rounds. The 30-27 doesn't actually relate to the actual fight itself. Like, I think 30-27 is quite an unfair score, because it was a closer fight than that sounds. Like, that sounds like, oh, it was a whitewash. But it was actually a really close fight, but she just didn't bring it. She was, just...
Well, I guess, I don't know if you heard, there was some backstory before this fight. I guess Beck Rawlings didn't make weight. So, like, before the fight going in, I guess she came in maybe like a pound or 2 overweight, and there was I guess she was outspoken about she feels UFC should have a 125 division for the women, because she's like, it's so hard for her body to cut this weight down for the strawweight division, and she feels she's not big enough to be in the bantamweight division, so she feels that the UFC needs to have a 125, and I think there might be some validity to her argument.
Yeah, and I think on her Facebook or Instagram, one or the other, she posted out that she has a specific disease which makes it difficult for her to cut the weight. Now, if that's, she gets 20% of her personnel cut because she didn't make the weight. If I'm Dana White, but then again, you keep money, so you would be happy about that. But dude, maybe cut her some slack because she's got that disease. But then maybe it's her fault for not confessing that she had the disease before she fought. So maybe that's her problem. But it was an okay fight. It went 3 rounds, which shocked me, but it was okay. Then we had Ricardo Ramos versus Michinoru Tanaka in the bantamweight division, both with a great record heading in. Ramos with 9-1, Tanaka with 11-2. This was Ramos' UFC debut. This went 3 rounds again. My score was 29-28 to Tanaka. The judges scored it 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28 to Honmas. So he got the victory. It was an enjoyable fight. It wasn't the best fight of the night. There was some knockdowns. There was some takedowns. It was an okay fight. But, good debut for Honmas. And he was the major underdog heading into this one, it being his debut. And the reason why he was even found was because of an episode on YouTube that Dana White has. He has a series on YouTube, apparently.
Looking for a fight, I think it's called.
Yeah. And that's how he was found. So he must have made Dana White look good because, he found him. But, bantamweight division, good win over not a shitty... Go on.
I was going to say, this is interesting for Tanaka, too, because looking at his last fights, he is 1-3 in his last 4 fights. So this is very interesting for Tanaka. Is he on the chopping block here with the UFC? Because we know like how they are sometimes. Is if they don't feel like you're, up to par, up to snuff, no matter the record, they will cut you. So and they kind of are. I hate to just be like this guy because I love the athletes and I love the fighters in the UFC, but sometimes the UFC company itself, I go kind of back and forth because I view them pretty much as WWE as mixed martial arts, and and I think they make no bones about it. I think they actually want to be that, and I just think it goes into the factor where it's just like, okay, like this guy Michinori Tanaka, he might actually be an excellent fighter, but it's like, say he gets cut because he's like lost his 3 of his last 4 fights. If this was somebody else per se, like Conor McGregor, or hell, like even Ronda Rousey, you still want to fight, they wouldn't cut them. I know it's because they bring star power, and to the UFC and everything, but that's just about it being not about being the best fighter. That's just about being who puts asses in seats like what? Pro wrestling.
And he lost by unanimous decision. It wasn't he got knocked out or fucked up. It was generally an anonymous decision. So you can't really, cut him because he lost on unanimous decision. That could have gone either way. But I mean, I put 29-28 to Tanaka. I was really shocked when Harness got the win.
It goes to show, man, you can't leave these fights in the hands of the judges, because even playing the video game, sometimes I'll be like fighting somebody and it'll go to decision. I'll think I won the fight and they'll be like, oh, well, they won. I'm literally like, what? Like, if they won, so no, I see why these guys would be surprised sometimes. It's like, what? I didn't win that fight. So, I mean, if you can, just try to finish them. I know it's, some people like to go for that decision, but don't leave it in the judge's hands.
Oh, dude, if I ever did fucking low and bold, I ever did mixed martial arts, I would not try my hardest to leave it to decision, because these imbeciles, whoever they are, they really don't know what they're doing. How many times there's decisions that shouldn't have been, that have been. It's like they're trying to watch for a different sport, but we could go on about that all night. Then we moved on to Chaz Skelly versus Chris Gritsmocker in lightweight division.
Too, actually.
You saw this was an interesting one because Skelly was 16-2. It was in his hometown, and Gritsmocker was 13-1 heading in. Round 2 ended with Skelly with a rear naked choke to get the win here, and then post match Skelly puts over his team and wants to fight anyone on the May 13th event, because that's in Dallas, I think.
I think it was pretty good, and Skelly was actually setting up for the rear naked choke early in the first round, and Gritsmocker was able to get out of it. So I was like, oh, he escaped it. It was good for him, but he wasn't able to escape it in that second round. So, it's Skelly.
But dude, this guy's 17-2 now. He's 17-2. Like, that's a great record. But then, really good record. What were his 2 losses? Is what it's all about. Like, were his 2 losses recently?
Both were a decision. One was unanimous, and one was majority decision. It's been like a year. His last loss has been almost a year. It was in March 5th, 2016 was his last loss, which is this decision. So just like you said, this dude might be a monster coming up. You're only losing by decisions, so.
And Gritsmocker didn't really, obviously he lost, but he's still 13-2. It's still a decent damn record.
That's a good record, yeah.
Then we had Adam Milstead versus Curtis Blades in the heavyweight division. This was very interesting. Blades lost his last match to Ngannou, 2 fights prior, which is why he has the 6-1. That one was Ngannou, who's going to be a major star in the heavyweight division. And then Milstead, he's 8-1 on an 8-win streak, 8 in a row heading in, and he lost here. Basically, this is what happened. I don't even need to read my notes for this because it's stuck in my memory. First round, he gets dumped because there was such a big difference in height and weight. Blades went out there, dumped him. I think takedowns were about 7, but they're all like German suplexes, like not overhead, but kind of to the side. And Blades did it to the side, and Milstead landed on his leg pretty badly. End of round 1, goes to the corner. The commentator's like, this should not carry on. He landed on his leg. He can barely walk on it. Don't send him back out. The corner then send him back out for round 2. What happens? He goes to take him down again. His right leg goes the way it's meant to, and his left leg twists that way and then twists back. Revolting. The referee jumps in there and stops it immediately. They did their vintage slow motion on the screen, and I'm there like twisting and cringing. It was absolutely horrendous. But lots of talk about Ngannou. I know he wasn't on the card, but he was on the previous card. And, he's now ranked 6th after the move up he had. Does he go, because he's still green, does he go up to a top 5 fight, swim with the deep end? Or maybe a rematch with a guy like Curtis Blades, like who he beat previously. But then Curtis Blades can say, look, I'm just come up on a victory and I nearly broke a guy's leg. Let me have Ngannou. I think they could do that again. Blades, Ngannou, and then Ngannou can, if he can win, and then maybe then he might be ready to fight a top 5 fighter, because this guy right now, he has everyone talking about him. Ngannou's on the world of everyone's, mixed martial arts podcast. Have him just get another win, just so he's still there at the top of your tongue, like, oh yeah, he knocked out Curtis Blades, who fucked up Milstead.
Well, what I think they should do with Ngannou is his next fight. I think he should get the winner of Derek Lewis and Travis Brown. I think that should be his next fight.
Yeah, this is Ngannou you're talking about?
Yeah, and Ngannou, I think that should be his next fight, because I just think that's the fight that makes the most sense, because I feel like whoever win that fight would be, they're kind of like both on the outside, trying to get into that upper echelon and get a title shot. So I think that fight would probably make the most sense.
The thing is, though, this Ngannou, I think they look at it as a business. They're not going to chuck him out there. I think they'll give him one more, maybe someone maybe ranked 13 or 14. I think that number. I think that top 5 fight will be pay-per-view. I think that top 5 will be pay-per-view. I think one more win.
Brown or Derek Lewis, because let me check the UFC rankings to see where these guys are at. But I know they are. I don't think either one of them are top 5. I could be wrong. I don't think either one of them are top 5. But I just think that fight would make the most sense, because both of those guys are. All right, let's see. I'm pulling it up here. Or they got so many damn pay-per-views, we can never even fucking tell. It's just like, all right, here we go. Fight night. Brown, it's February 19th. It's not too far from now. Derek Lewis will rank. Where is he ranked? Does it say? Okay, I'm just on Wikipedia. So, well, Derek Lewis's professional record is 17-4. So, and he's on a 5-fight win streak.
Damn, that's impressive.
He has 4 of those 5 he's won by knockout.
So, that would be an interesting fight there with Ngannou.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, and let me check out Travis Brown, see what I think he's on he might be on a 2-fight losing streak, 3-fight losing streak, or something like that.
Damn, well, if you chuck them in, then whoever wins that gets Ngannou, and then the winner of that must move up to the top 5, and then maybe do a number 1 contenders match with Ngannou, and whoever's obviously in that division, heavyweight division, is ranked number 1. Have him in there and have that on pay-per-view and just see how that guy, because you don't really know how he draws on the fight nights and on the Fox events. Have him on pay-per-view. Chuck him in the main event. See how he does.
Yep.
Just look how he does. And if he does good numbers, go okay, cool. He's got good numbers. But you can't. Lots of people are talking about him, and that's a good thing. Lots of MMA shows talking about Ngannou, and that's good. And the guy's incredible. But the heavyweight division is so quite lackluster, really, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it's kind of like right now. They're the top dogs, and you got the rest of the pack. You got, of course, the champ right now, Stipe Miocic, who I think might hold the belt for a little bit, and then you got a couple of people. You got let's see, you got Fabricio Verdum, the former champion. You got Mark Hunt, who's still up there, a contender. You got Junior Dos Santos is up there. So you got some guys still up there, but then you got the rest of the pack. So it's just easy to see who can break away from that pack and join the upper echelon.
At least it's open now. At least most heavyweight fights seem a bit important. And then we move on to the fight of the night for the women's strawweight division. You have Jessica Andrade, ranked number 5, versus Angelica Hill. Fuck me, 3 rounds of non-stop battering the living fuck out of each other. Brilliant. It at 10 p.m., which is when my girlfriend normally goes to sleep. But she set up, and she'll watch a bit of wrestling. She'll refuse to watch Raw. But she'll watch a bit of wrestling, and I was like, what are you watching? And I was like, Cage Fight, because I normally at 10 p.m., that's when I start my watching of either pro wrestling or an MMA. And I put it on, and it was like, you don't watch this too? I'm like, yeah, recently, Kocosports Home, their website, so I do the news there, so I kind of have to cover it. I was like, why not do a podcast on it? So I was watching it, and she just started sitting up slowly. He was like, fuck, this is real. This isn't like wrestling. This is the real shit. I was like, yeah. And I tell you what, fucking sat there all 3 rounds. And it was incredible. They just battered the fuck out of each other. Like props. Like Andrade won 30-27 on decision. Post-match, she spoke no English, so I can't really say anything. But fuck me, those 2 women deserve a massage, a back rub, a foot rub, or whatever they can deserve, because I bet they're hurting right now. Right now it's Monday night, Tuesday morning, hence MMA AM. But fuck me, they are going to be hurting because they beat the shit out of each other. But damn, it was entertaining to watch.
That was a very entertaining fight, and I've seen Angela Hill post-fight interview, and I mean, she's improved since she's gotten to UFC. Like when she first came into the UFC, I was kind of like, she looked very, I don't want, for lack of a better word, sloppy. You know what I mean? She had a very sloppy style to me. Like she was a stand-up artist. I mean, she could stand, and she just didn't put a lot of stuff together, in my opinion. I mean, I'm glad to see her be on the uptrend, and even in the loss, I think she looked good. So I think we're going to see more from her, and I'd like to see more from her. So hats off to both ladies for giving this war. And that's, like I said the other day, that's what these women do, man. They're going, even if it goes to the decision, for the most part, there's going to be an effing war with these ladies. They're going to go, they go hard when they're in there, man. They're not trying to just pitter patter around and fill each other out. They go hard, man. So hats off to them. Hats off to Jessica Andrade for the victory, and even hats off to Angela Hill for improvement in her mixed martial arts game.
Yeah, very much improved. I really did enjoy that. And with that win, maybe because the crowd may care about her more now because of how amazing that fight was. I'm not saying they didn't care about her before. I'm just saying maybe move her up and then maybe fight number ranked 2 sometime down the line. Maybe ranked 1, 2, 3. Maybe move up for a title shot. But is it Andrade or is it Torres that potentially is the one maybe retiring? I think it might have been Torres. I think it was Torres who's potentially leaving the sport.
Yeah, I think it was Torres that was potentially go ahead and retire. I think you're right on that.
Okay, cool. So I'll be very sad if she got that. But again, she didn't defeat anyone in the top 15, so maybe she won't move up rankings that much. But either way, this is only my second UFC watching proper. She's one of my favorite fighters I've watched. Like, I genuinely have really enjoyed her, and it was very good. And I hope we see more of Angela Hill. Maybe that fight earned her maybe another fight down the line, maybe against someone lower in the strawweight division. Yeah. Maybe Grasso. Maybe she gets Grasso next.
That'd be fun. That'd be real fun. So, I mean, it's interesting enough without giving too much away. Since Grasso's coming off her first loss, it'd be interesting to see how she will rebound off another fight. So.
Exactly, they're both coming off losses. You can put it maybe on the main event of the prelims. Because if you're worried about the marketing of it, because I'm sure Grasso will still be in the top 15. But it was just a great fight. And I recommend everyone watch this now. If you haven't already, check it the fuck out. Even if you're not a fan of mixed martial arts, check it out. Then we have Anthony Hamilton versus Marcel Fortuna in the heavyweight division. Fortuna record 8-1, Hamilton 15-6. Fortuna got the win. With just a huge right hand, and Hamilton just went and just head crashed the mat. Then he tried to get back up, and he was all wobbly-legged. The ref stopped. He's like, no, none of that.
He said, nah, player. He ran into the cage too, face first. I'm not trying to laugh at him, but he ran face first into the cage. It was kind of just like, and But no, that was a brutal knockout, and the referee was right for stopping that because you're
right. He was right for stopping it here. Later on, in about 5 to 10 minutes when we get to it, not good for stopping.
No.
Post match though, Fortuna says, look, he went to the heavyweight division because it was 2 weeks' notice. He had to make a big weight cut, but he's going back to 205 pounds. He's going back to 205 pounds in that division, which is maybe sad because the heavyweight division is open. Because there's no fucking decent heavyweights in there. Maybe he saw Ngannou was like, yeah, I'll fucking stick with my guys at 205.
He's like what Anthony Rumble Johnson said. He said them boys in heavyweight hit hard, man. It's like, he's like, they hit very hard up there. So maybe, like you said, maybe you're not trying to get that damage, man. But hey, whatever, right?
Well, he's the one who hits hard, damn it to God. Then we had OSP ranked 6th versus Volkan Ozdemir in the light heavyweight division. It went all 3 rounds. Both men very fatigued towards the end. My score, I had 29-28 to OSP. Post-match, Ozdemir won. Ozdemir won with 29-28, 29-28, 29-28 to Ozdemir. I got 29-28 to OSP. I got it wrong. Second time of the night, but I'll get better at that. But it was a close fight. The crowd booed quite heavily because of how slow it was compared to the Hill-Andrade match, which is obviously expected. But Ozdemir was fatigued as fuck in the last minute of the final round. He was fatigued as fuck. And I don't know if it was because it's not his normal division, but it's only 3 rounds. Imagine him in a championship fight in the 5th round. He's going to be so blown up. He's going to be fucking crawling like Anthony Hamilton did.
Yeah. But
Damn, it was quite
I
a
think it
boring
was.
fight.
I think it was
And
due to the weight cut, though. I want to, because I mean, he normally fights heavyweight, right?
yeah, yeah, this was light heavyweight.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think it was due to the weight cut because I mean that would be the only excuse for it. And plus, he probably doesn't have great stamina to begin with, so it's like if you don't have great stamina, then the weight cut, so you're just multiplying your chance of getting blown up soon. So I was with you actually. I thought OSP actually won this fight. I was surprised that they gave it to VO. I'm just gonna call him VO. I'm just gonna call I'm surprised they gave it to Vulcan. Mr. Star Trek. I'm surprised they gave it to him. But just goes to show what we're talking about. You got to finish the fights, man. And I know both these guys were gassed, but it's just like at some point, man, you got to try to finish the fight because if you don't, like you think you won, you don't win.
Yeah, it was kind of boring. This is one of the first times, and I was shocked because I was really excited for seeing an OSP fight. I was excited to see an OSP fight. I was thinking, okay, we're gonna get a knockout in maybe the first round, and it turned out I was like, oh, okay. Second round, okay, knock him out now. Oh, okay. Third round, oh fuck me, Ozdemir won. Like OSP did not show up,
No,
not at all.
look this competition though, because like we even said it the other day going before the fight. Who did this Volkan Ozdemir even fight? We looked up his record and they had like nobody on there. So he got the upset victory. Maybe we didn't think he should have won. The judges did, but those are the breaks sometimes, man.
Dude, that's gonna have him slide down the rankings quite ferociously, poor boy. Then we had Abel Trujillo versus James Vick in lightweight division action. Round three, Vick won via submission, the choke. And then Vick wants to be on the Dallas card. All these fighters wanting to be on the damn Dallas card.
Yeah, man. That's just I guess they say they do things bigger in Texas, so I guess we got a lot of the Texas flavor down there in Houston and want to do it again. I guess, but I don't know, man. Maybe they're Cowboys fans. Who cares? I don't know. Maybe what is it about? I've never been to Dallas. I really don't have any plans to go, but
I think it's because I'm guessing Texas was Vick's hometown, but I thought he controlled the fight anyway. I gave the opening two rounds 10-9 to Vick, both of them. He had some good takedowns, and he did the choke round two, but round three he actually got it and got the win. It was an okay fight, but it wasn't nothing to talk about really. Then we have Alexa Grasso, sorry, ranked 12 in the strawweight division versus Felice Herrig. Basically, the story for this one is you have the Herrig, the veteran, and you have Grasso, the up and comer, ranked 12, slowly moving into that top 10, maybe top 5 sometime down the line. And Herrig saying, look, you may be the next big thing, but you're getting through me. So nice, simple, easy story. I got 10-9 Herrig, 10-9 Herrig, 10-9 Grasso. So I had 29-28 to Herrig, and the judges actually got it 29-28 to Herrig. I enjoyed this fight. Maybe Herrig now in the top 15, maybe a run for her. I know she's getting on a bit, but maybe another top 15 run for her. And will Grasso still be in the top 15 after this, or will she just barely be in there?
Considering how she lost, I think she still might be in the top 15, and considering it was her first loss, it goes to show would it be interesting to see who they fight next. Either it was funny we said maybe Angela Hill for Angela Grasso, but I think now what I think about what might be more interesting fight for the UFC as far as them making a card or making maybe somebody with a name. Maybe she could fight Paige Van Zandt as well, because I mean she's coming off a loss too. She's 7-3. She just got beat by Michelle Watterson in December, so she's gonna need a fight here soon. So I mean maybe it could be Angela Hill, maybe it could be Paige Van Zandt for Alexa Grasso. But hey, a disappointing loss for her. Huge win here. Huge win for Herrick, man. Like you said, this has to move her up in the rankings, and maybe this is like a veteran kind of Dan Henderson story on the way up to maybe get another title shot. We'll see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what both do, because I'm very interesting to see, because I really, really enjoyed this fight because I was interested in the story, and the women stole the show. The two matches on the main card, not really the prelim, but the main card, the strawweight women's division could be my favorite division. I fucking admire that division. And on wrestling, I'm like, okay, the women come out, either I'm into it or I'm upstairs taking a leak.
Yeah.
With these women, I do not dare go for a piss. If I go for a piss, I'm taking my fucking phone up because I'll be watching on the Fight Pass app.
I hear you.
Damn, incredible.
So exciting. There's very exciting fighters for the most part, man. And I don't know. Like I said, I think it's linked to that style to where they never know that hey, we can pull the women's division tomorrow. So I just think that they just go off that, just kind of fear and maybe anger and this this hostility, and just use that to their advantage and just have excellent fights for the most part.
Yeah, no, I was shocked that the women's division's only been around for 4 years. I was like, damn, I didn't realize. I thought women's MMA was always around. I never knew that. And because I watched a company TPF, they had a show last Thursday. I watched that on Thursday and did the show on here, and it was all men. And I was like, where's the women at? Is women MMA exclusive? I know there's Invicta, which I'll be checking out on the Fight Pass app. There's Invicta and maybe Titan, I'm not really sure, but there isn't really a lot of women's MMA out there. Is it mainly exclusively for UFC, which is why it's so exciting, because these are the best of the best because they're not spread out anywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to find this like women's MMA that's by themselves. And I know sometimes if anybody has access to Access TV, no pun intended, they have a lot of Muay Thai fights on there, and they also have a lot of Muay Thai women's fights on there. It's actually where I first saw Valentina Shevchenko fight on there a couple times before she went to the UFC. So that's where I saw her, became a fan, with her style, and she trains her position over mixed martial arts, and the rest is history. But yeah, man, Invicta, like you said, and like I said, a couple Muay Thai areas. But as far as that goes, not very many other outlets as far as women's MMA. And in women's MMA over here in the North America, as far as I know, like people will say, oh, Ronda Rousey was like the first. She was da-da-da-da-da. Like the first really good women's MMA fighter that I know, like, wasn't Ronda Rousey. It was Sarah Kaufman, and she was a former Strikeforce bantamweight champion. She actually is not fighting for the UFC anymore. They didn't renew her contract, but she's just one of my favorite fighters, to where she's just an all-around, well-rounded fighter. She has good stand-up, has decent jiu-jitsu game, and I guess that she's just not, for lack of a better term for the UFC fans, she's just not stereotypical pretty girl. You know what I mean? She's not a bad-looking girl, but she's not the stereotypical, oh, drop-dead gorgeous type. So I think they kind of have to put some play into it too. But yeah, love women's MMA.
Agreed. And then we have our main event, Dennis Bermudez versus the Korean zombie Chang Sung Jung. Round one, Jung with just an uppercut from pretty much out of nowhere, knocked Bermudez out, kind of. Bermudez kind of went to get back up, but as he did, the ref jumped on him. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What was it? So it was knockout. Bermudez went to the canvas, and obviously the Korean's always on top, starting. It was like 1-2 punch, and then the ref jumped in. I was like, dude, you got to give at least 5 punches, at least, like, one, boom, 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 not boom, boom, stop.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like it. And the thing is, Bermudez, as soon as the bell, or the bell rung, whatever fucking happened, the ref stopped it, he got right back up. I was like, he was not knocked out. I thought that was bullshit. And I think Bermudez was not happy about it. And if not, I don't fucking blame him. I really don't.
He did come out and say he thought it was stopped a little early. I saw the knockout. Yeah, see, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I know he was up and getting ready. He was saying he wasn't knocked out and he was ready to defend himself. My thing is, it's not necessarily like right now, but like I'm not trying to say maybe this is not in his character, or we never know what may happen in the future. But when people start having, like, if they may want to have like a certain lawsuit here in the future, be like, well, oh, why didn't the referee stop that? And he could have stopped me from getting unprotected punches. If somebody was to become broke and they want to file a lawsuit in UFC potentially in the future, knowing that they didn't get hurt, but they could say, oh, well, the referee didn't stop it right there, and knows, he caused me to have CTE and other brain damage and da. Which, fighting, you can never really prove where you got it, but it wouldn't behoove any of these guys to say that stuff would happen. Okay, I hope they wouldn't do that, but there's somebody out there would definitely try to use that to their favor.
I guess, but they signed the contract. They're getting involved in that cage. That's their tough shit, isn't it, really? But
you're right.
But in the end of the day, that's a main event. If Bermudez won that fight, number 9 would have turned into easily number 6 or 5.
Yeah.
That'd have been a big deal. But the Korean zombie now moving up, maybe in the top 50, maybe. But at least it was good to see him back. I rewatched on Fight Pass some of his old stuff. Against Gracie, I really enjoyed that fight. But apart from that, I don't know. It was just, I was disappointed because I wanted the fight to continue.
Goes back into that, I hate to keep saying that UFC equals WWE. It's like, all right, pretty much this card was built around the Korean zombie. I'm even looking at the poster right now. It's like Bermudez versus Young, and it says Korean zombie rises again in red letters. Dude, between us here and everybody that's watching the show, thank you guys. I believe that they sometimes would tell the referee, "Hey, look, the Korean Zombie gets him in a position to where he's down and he's hitting him. Stop it! Just stop it, because we clearly want this guy to win." And I hate to just be like that and be that dude and be the conspiracy theorist. But once again, like you said, at the end of the day, it's a business. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, because if it was a reverse, I bet you the referee would have gave Korean Zombie all the chance to recover. He'd have got hit 4, 5, 6 times in trying to recover. But they stop it early for certain people, man. They've been known to do that.
But I think that's just because we watch so much pro wrestling. We're used to, oh, everything's a work. So even though it's not really, I think it might just be in our brain to comprehend and change everything to, oh, that's a work. I think that might be part of the problem. We'll get some live comments before we go off air because, oh no, I've missed the opening 15-minute monologue of Raw. MMA has their own version of Flow Slam. These are all from Rick 1982. What we got? Rick 1982 says MMA has their own version of Flow Slam. It's called Flow Combat.
Yep.
Just read that World Series of Fighting star David Branch vacated both his titles, declared himself a free agent. Do you see him ended up with Bellator or going back to UFC? No clue.
You say back to you, Bellator. I would say, man, at this point, I'm all for this Bellator. Go try Bellator out. This is because Bellator, I mean, it might be a little crazy, but I like how they just do. Bellator to me is like more fun right now.
Yeah, I watched the T Ortiz Chael Sonnen one. Then Rick 1982 says Jessica Andrade versus Angelica Hill was an amazing fight for both casual and hardcore MMA fans. Yeah, I agree. Everyone in, like, not even the casual fan, even the person who doesn't even watch it can sit there and just enjoy it with a smile on the face because it is just amazing fighting, and it really was an amazing fight. Rick 1982 Super Fight League has a couple of events coming up this month and will be streamed live on their YouTube channel with English commentary in case you want to check it out. I'll be checking out all the fights on the Fight Pass because I really want to make use of my Fight Pass. Because there's lots of different promotions. I pay for it, so I'm going to make the most of it. And then Rick 1982 says there's women's fights out there in Bellator, King of the Cage, One Championship, Super Fight League, and other places. So it's not just exclusive to only a few companies. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad that. Most of those are on Fight Pass. That makes me happy. And then Dunny Bolton 23 says Joe. Guessing he's talking about Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, I'll be back with Wrestle AM after Monday Night Raw goes off the air. I may be joined by Sammy. Maybe. In the meantime, though, promote yourself before we go off the air.
Well, you know where to find us at. Holla Bunches. How are you? SOS Wrestle Talk on that Twitter machine. Thank you for having us on once again, LK, on here talking this sport that we call mixed martial arts that I am a very big fan of, and I will continue to be a big fan of because really when I think about it, all the other sports going on right now, they kind of really are not exciting to me. I mean, if people, of course, watch football game, I'm not really too enthralled with football right now, even, though it's over. But basketball kind of is really leaving me more to be desired. So right now, my top sport's MMA. I'm enjoying all the shows I can. They have a show every weekend, which I love. I freaking love that. I mean, it's like it gives me something to look forward to, so I can just sit down, check out, watch, and see who's going to win this fight and how they're going to win it. So SOS Wrestle Talk. Go on Twitter, hit that follow, tweet at us, too sweet us, whatever they say in the street. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, just go check him out, and hopefully he starts his YouTube channel soon, so then I can promote that. What else have we got? We'll be going live with Wrestle AM after Monday Night Raw, so I've got to load that up and get that rocking and rolling. I may have missed the opening 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll have Sammy I'll just watch the clip on YouTube what happened because I don't really want to go back and rewatch it and then be behind. But you can follow me on Twitter at LK_Kocosports. I'll follow you back as long as you're not an imbecile. Facebook, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Kocosports, I guess. Links in description. I've finally become an admin for the fucking Facebook Kocosports webpage. I can finally post the latest articles on there.
Good.
As I look forward to Kocosports.net. I'll be updating that tomorrow. What else have we got? I don't really know. I think that's everything plugged. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with an MMA AM, cover the UFC 208 pay-per-view coming up soon. We'll be able to preview that sometime later this week, Dion, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that one. So you know it, man. Just whenever you want to just give me a little buzz, man. We cover all these shows, man.
Awesome. Look forward to that. And look forward to kind of Monday Night Raw. So that being said, thank you all for watching live. Thank you for the live comments. Thank you for watching post live. Stay safe, stay well. We'll both be catching your asses down the line.